Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming and sitting in on this presentation. We're going to have a good time. We're going to try some delicious bevs and learn some things, hopefully. My name is Noah Villeneuve. I work for a company called Club Soda. I am the head of creative development. Club Soda, if you don't know, are the UK's mindful drinking experts. We have a permanent premises in Drury Lane in central London. We are a shop. We've got over 300 products in there that are no and low alcohol. We've got a bar, full cocktail menu, beers on draft, the lot. So quite unique, quite innovative, but we're seeing a lot more popularity in the space around no and low alcohol. And today is just a little bit of a talk around why we need to improve our no and low alcohol cocktails. I've invited 3 of my favorite bartenders from 3 of my favorite bars in London to come and make one of their alcohol-free cocktails. So you get to try one of those as well, which is going to be delightful. Any questions at all, you can ask some at the end. And let's get going. Club Soda, like I said, established in 2015 by our 3 co-founders, Laura, Yossi, and Drew. Laura Willoughby is sat in the front in case you want to speak to her after about anything. Yeah, she's really shy though, so maybe don't bother her. We teach you about mindful drinking. We don't preach sobriety. We don't preach like a very strict behavior, like you have to do this. It's about behavioral change. It's about adopting options. There's so many good products now. Like you'll see so many here today. There is everything you can think of in no and low now. Really, really tasty things. We've come a long way since 2016 when we started to see like the first spirits pop up. So whatever your profile, whatever you're into, whatever kind of cocktails you're into, like there is something out there for you. Give it a try. If you think you've tried something and you said, oh, it's not good, you know, people give up on wine really quickly, but there's actually really, really damn good wine now. Lots of good things. So come along to Club Soda and try some things. We also run mindful drinking courses online where we help people either cut down or stop completely. We offer them to hospitality individuals for free through the Drinks Trust. Everything we do is underpinned by behavioral change. That is very brief. I don't want to go too much on about myself, but we're going to do a little backstory on me because it's like, who's this guy? Why are we listening to this guy talk about no and low? Why are we to trust him? My journey in hospitality started in milkshakes, cutting my teeth, slinging shakes for the kids. Got to start somewhere, right? And then I moved into bars and pubs, sticky floor venues, serving old grumpy men, ciders and craft beer. And then I moved into the music industry. I basically only worked in the 2 industries that would accept my behavior, and that was music and hospitality. Music industry, I was a tour manager, I was an assistant, I worked in pop music for a few years, basically being a glorified babysitter. Half of the time I was looking after people, the other half of the time I was behaving recklessly and living the rock and roll dream, quote unquote. I then basically fell out of the music industry because of my alcoholism, and then I got into cocktail bartending, fell head over heels with it, loved everything about cocktail bars and that world, and just started moving up the ranks, got into bar operations, started opening sites around the UK. Just, again, I thought I was living some kind of rock and roll dream, but in hospitality, you know, you can get carried away. You start getting taken out by brands 5 nights a week, and it's like, oh, my God, this is amazing. But actually, it catches up with you, and it caught up with me in a really bad and really dark way around 2020. Fast forward a few years later, I thought I was better, and I got into food and wine, and I was like, I'm going to intellectualize my habit. So I started doing all of my qualifications in wine, became a sommelier, started running wine bars, restaurants, and then my alcoholism was at an all-time high. So then I got sober, and I stopped drinking, and I got really lucky that Club Soda was starting this project with the shop and the bar, so I luckily got taken on by the team there, and I've been there since October. That's a very brief history of what I've been doing. The no and low category is absolutely booming at the moment. You know, the statistics don't lie. There's a lot of people drinking less or thinking about changing their drinking. Most of the people in our shop who are customers still drink. You know, we're not here, like I said, to say stop drinking. It's about subbing in some options, whether that's low alcohol cocktails or just having a non-alcoholic beer and then an alcoholic beer and then a non-alcoholic beer. There's loads of ways you can format it, and there's no rules, but what we're here to say is that there's different ways of thinking. Don't think that the only way is imbibing alcohol, right? There's a lot of money being messed out from bars and restaurants by not providing good enough options. If you have a menu and there's a Beck's Blue, a dusty Beck's Blue in the back of your fridge, be better. Improve it. That's not good enough. Like, have a few beers. Have a spirit. Understand that spirit. Make sure your bar team understand how to use that spirit, how it's made, how to use that in cocktails. Because if they don't understand it and they don't believe in it, then your customers aren't going to get served it. You're going to lose out on money, and then you're thinking, oh, well, what's this crappy bottle on my back bar that nobody likes? It's all about education. It's a huge education piece. And there's a lot of work to be done, but I think London is in a really good place when it comes to alcohol-free cocktails, which is why I've invited some people up here today, which I'll introduce very shortly. Take your alcohol-free cocktails seriously. Hold them to the same standard as your alcoholic cocktails, as the counterparts. You know, I think as bartenders and people in hospitality, we can get quite caught up in the fact that we're like, oh, well, that's rubbish, and oh, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like this. Not everyone drinks like you, not everyone eats like you. Don't create a menu catered to your tastes. Make sure it encompasses everyone, be inclusive. Yeah, but there's a lot of parallels with like vegan foods, you know what I mean? Like having a vegan option on a restaurant menu is the same as like having an alcohol-free cocktail on a cocktail menu. Make sure there's options. I am personally bored of being offered a ginger beer. If I see one more ginger beer, I swear to God. Or a warm orange juice, or like Coke from a hose. It's not cool, it's not sexy, it's not sophisticated. So it really excites me when somebody's made the effort to provide a delicious option that's an adult drink, something that I'm not going to neck in 2 seconds, and something that isn't absolutely just like plastered in sugar. Like I said, do your research, educate your staff. And, you know, there's loads of approaches you can do when it comes to menu curation. You can have a whole section on your menu that says non-alcoholic cocktails, or whatever word you want to choose. Whatever word you choose, do not choose mocktails. I don't want to see mocktails on your menu. Like, don't use that word. It's nonsense. Why are we mocking it? Why are we patronizing? Don't. Like, call it something cool. Make up a new word. Just don't call it mocktails. We can have all different ways. We could have our normal cocktail menu. We've got great bars like Lioness who just put a little symbol next to their alcoholic cocktails that say you can have this one non-alcoholic. I think that's a really nice way of doing it. It's not patronizing. It's just a very lovely way of showing that you can have this one. You know, there's a dream that one day I can walk into a bar and have an alcohol full, low alcohol, or alcohol-free cocktail.
Wow.
This should be a challenge you're accepting as a bartender, as hospitality professionals. And it is challenging to create a good non-alcoholic cocktail, and people can get let down really easily because they go, oh, I'll make a non-alcoholic Negroni the same way I'll make an alcoholic Negroni, and go equal parts, and it doesn't taste good, and you're like, God damn, this product is rubbish. It's not that, you just haven't given the understanding or the patience enough to the product. So spend a bit more time with it, and it'll be worth it. Like, you can make absolutely incredibly tasting good drinks. So have a think about what are the barriers in your place of work, what are the barriers in your life to like stopping you from getting more into non-alcoholic cocktails, non-alcoholic drinks. Let's make menus and this country a little more inclusive of people who don't want to drink today. You know what I mean? Apply your creativity with passion, and that's exactly what some of these bartenders that I'm about to invite up are doing. So without further ado, let's get up the first person. This gentleman is a very sharp-dressed man. He is works at the Zetter Townhouse, and his name is Gregorio Soriente. Give a hands up for Greg.
Hello. How are you?
How you doing? You good?
Really good.
Fabulous. Greg, if you could just tell us who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your career up until now.
So my name is Greg, and I run the Zetter Townhouse in Marylebone. My career in hospitality has started so many years ago, but shortly to that, I'm for the last 6 years in London, starting from Notting Hill, from the distillery. After that, I moved to the American Bar del Savoy. Pandemic happened. We reopened with a project. It's called Roots. And yeah, after that, I just moved to hotels. That's Hilton, and now is where I am at the Zetter Townhouse.
In that time of all of your bartending in cocktails, how have you seen perceptions around non-alcoholic products changed? Do you think people are more accepting of it now, behind bars?
So through my career was a tiny bit different. In the time at the American bar, we've been teach on how to do a dedicated menu about non-alcoholics, and we've been asked to do 3 to 5 non-alcoholics alternative, where low ABV was not an option at the moment. For me, like the game changing right now is the fact that there is low ABV, non-alcs, and alcoholics cocktail. But if you think about, like for example, a gin and tonic is already a low ABV option of old-fashioned or a gin martini. So it's not really so separate, the thing. After that, through the years, the thing I'm trying now to do is to be more inclusive on the cocktail, on how to make the cocktails. So in the current menu, we do have a dedicated section of low and no ABV, with non-alcoholic drinks and 1 low ABV. And what we are doing basically is to recycle, and actually I'm using recycle to be sustainable, but it is to recycle ingredients from the menu himself, and we make cocktails out of them. What we did with the cocktail we are presenting now is a tiny bit different, and we are making Express a cocktail non-alcoholic that can be alcoholic otherwise. So we are famous for being a cocktail bar, but we do run a really busy afternoon tea. We are speaking about 200 afternoon tea per week. And I'm not going to give you bullshit. It is business. It is a lot of money. And what you're selling with your tea and sweets is actually bubbles. Bubbles doesn't mean necessarily alcoholic bubbles. We do have a perfect example, and that was with Everleaf, the perfect example where we got the inspiration to create the cocktail we are presenting today. So we do have non-alcoholic champagne, can I call it like this? Just to give an idea. And out of practicity, we are just putting from a pre-made bottle. We are lazy.
Has everyone got a sample? Is everyone trying it, yeah?
Yep. So the cocktail, as I was mentioned, is made to be non-alcoholic. And after that, we do offer the alcoholic version with some normal champagne. And is nothing else than only products that you can commonly buy. We do have a base of Everleaf Mountain with some orgeat, grenadine, some citric solution, and the dry dragon. What is like making a good non-alcoholic cocktail is a good product at the base. What we noticed through the years is actually the evolution of the non-alcoholic products that can give you a valid alternative right now. What I always noticed at the beginning was really, really licking flavor, really watery, and honestly not pleasant to drink. Right now, hopefully you're gonna like what you're drinking, and no one is allergic to nuts. And yep.
Fabulous. Round of applause for Gregorio and his delicious drink.
Thank you, Dan.
Everyone enjoy that?
Yeah.
How tasty is that,
Yeah.
right? Everleaf, by the way, do have a store here. Go check them out. Go try their range. This drink includes mountain, beautiful, inspired by the biome of a mountain. And it's got a lovely rosehip hibiscus strawberry going on in it. So definitely check it out. And the sparkling tea that is used in that as well, Real. If you don't know Real, definitely go check it out. It's phenomenal. Super, super delicious. Sparkling wine alternative. Gregorio, thank you for your time.
No, now it's me.
It's me, man.
All right, number 2. Mr. Dan Garnell from Seed Library. Woo!
Hello. How is everyone today? Everyone having a good time? Everyone enjoying Noah's speech so far? I find it very fascinating.
Thank you, Dan. This drink that Dan's about to talk about, and Dan works in a bar called Seed Library, it's really an important one to me because when I moved to London last year, I was really early into the no and low world, and I was quite nervous about still going into bars and even telling people what I did. Like, it was all new and quite uncomfortable ground for me. And the guys at Seed Library made me feel super comfortable and super at home. They made me this drink, and I was like, oh my God, alcohol-free cocktails in London absolutely slap. This is unreal. So Thank you for looking after me back then, Dan, and it's a pleasure to have you here. So give us a brief description of what you do and a bit about your career.
Fantastic. My name's Dan Garnell. I first started in the industry when I was just about to turn 18. I was very fortunate that my sister already worked in the industry. So she was working at Milk and Honey back in the time. Incredible bar. And then she knew the owner of Happiness Forgets. And I moved back down to London. And she was like, you need to get a job. You have a massive personality, but you're very shy. So you need to find something that's going to pull you out of that. So then she took me down to this bar. I shouldn't say that I was drinking at the time because obviously I said I wasn't 18. But I went down, we got a drink, we had one, and then that was it. And as soon as I stepped foot into that room, I was in love. It was like a house party with everyone laughing, everyone having a great time, but it was so inclusive as well. So the second I walked out, Alistair Burgess was like, do you need a job? I was like, yes. He was like, I can offer you a bar back position the next day. I was like, brilliant, give me whatever you need to sign. And then I stayed there for 6 years. I went from barback to assistant general manager in those 6 years. And then after that, I was like, this is a shoebox of a bar, Ali. I love you to bits, but I need to move on. So then I reached out to the Lion Company, who are dear friends of ours. They have White Lion just up the road. They had just opened Dandelion, and then I moved over there, did Dandelion, closed Dandelion, went to Lioness, didn't close Lioness, then moved over to Amsterdam, opened up Super Lion, then came back to London and opened up Seed Library, where I'm at the moment. So that is my career in a small nutshell.
Amazing. And I've always seen the Lion Group at the forefront of having non-alcoholic options and early adopters of alcohol-free spirits. And, you know, you guys are absolute kings of flavor. How have you seen perceptions change from bartenders when it comes to creating non-alcoholic cocktails since you know, were cutting your teeth as a barback up until now? Like, do you think there's more approval?
100%. I think, as you said before, it's all about inclusivity. Like, no one wants to be sat at a table at the moment and everyone else is getting an alcoholic drink and then they get a glass of orange juice, like they said. It's so obvious that they're not drinking and it makes people feel very uncomfortable. So this is the reason why at Seed Library we have a dedicated, we call it no alcohol and then lighter. So it's not a low ABV, it's just lighter so people don't have to feel pressured into what they're getting or anything like that. And then that's separate to our other cocktail menu. But we also do have an iteration of one of our alcoholic drinks that's made non-alcoholic. And it looks identical. The only thing that we do different is we don't put a grape in the bottom. So if someone's having the alcoholic version and the non-alcoholic version, the only difference is there's no grape in the bottom. And it looks like they're drinking an actual drink. So everyone feels included. No one feels like they're made to feel out of place or anything like that. It's all about making people feel as comfortable as possible.
Please note this image is the alcoholic one.
That is the alcoholic one. You will not see a grape in yours today.
No grape in the non-alc one. Everyone enjoying that though? It's good, right? Yeah. Dan, if you want to make the drink for us, talk us through how it was made.
Fantastic. So this is a drink that's been on our menu since day one at Seed Library. We were looking at a classic gimlet, which is gin and lime cordial and a tiny bit of sugar normally. And then we were like, what can we replace the lime cordial with? We looked at loads of different herbs and spices. We landed on coriander seeds because they've got that natural, like, citric and slight spice to them. And so we cooked those in a water bath, and then we add a tiny bit of sugar and then a couple of bits of acid. And then we were looking at the non-alcoholic option that we thought would work. We tried a load of them, and then we settled on Everleaf Marine and Everleaf Mountain because combined together, you've got that slight spiciness that increases the coriander seed, but then that salinity that's coming through from the marine as well, which ties in perfectly. So it's literally 2 ingredients or 3 ingredients stirred down. So it's very simple. Woo.
Just me.
Is everyone enjoying it so far? Fantastic.
Yeah, we did.
Unfortunately, I don't
one.
have much to
That
show.
was
I'm literally
great.
pouring
Can I
from a
have one,
bottle and then
please?
stirring, but
Can I have one? Thanks.
you're not allowed one, Noah. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to drink the rest of your batch.
That's fine. You can enjoy it.
For sure. Okay,
Anything else you want to ask? My love, my flower.
Ooh. How have you seen the quality of... What?
We sell a lot of non-alcoholics, actually. Like, with having it on the menu, I would say, most probably sell about 20 a night. So it's like, with people feeling comfortable to order it, we don't see anyone like steering away from it naturally or anything like that. And then once people have tried one or two, they actually see a lot of faith with us to create non-alcoholic drinks. And then they allow us to go crazy, which is a lot of fun. They're like, I've tried this one on your menu. What else can you make? And so it's a lot of fun in that sense.
That's it. Welcome the challenge. What's your advice for bartenders when it comes to creating non-alcoholic cocktails? Because I think it can be quite overwhelming approaching the space and not really knowing where to start. And there is such a range of products now. What's your kind of top tips?
Do the research on the brands that you're going to be working with. Like, there are a lot of things that will complement certain flavors. But the biggest thing that you need to understand is that you don't have the flavor of the alcohol to hide behind. You can never just substitute in a non-alcoholic. You have to do that research behind it and understand what you're going to be working with and why it works in such a sense. Whether you're going to be doing a stirred drink, a shaken drink, or something along those lines, it's so important to understand what you're going to be using, because otherwise it will fall very short. So research is the keyest thing. Like, brands are so open to come in and give you a training. You can ask any questions you want, but it's about putting in the effort from your side. Don't see non-alcoholics as something less than alcoholic drinks. Like, they are just as important as your alcoholics.
Cheers to that. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my turn. Let's do it.
Benedetta.
Yeah, it's me.
Right, we've got one more cocktail.
Sorry, guys, one more.
No questions for you, mate.
Yeah, I can go.
Benedetta Paris from Happiness Forgets. Woo!
Hello.
Woo!
It's ready. Yeah, I heard myself here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Imbibe, anyway. Anyway, thank you for your time, and thank you for listening us for what we think about the non-alcoholic world and what is our experience of non-alcoholic world. Before to jump in my drink, I just introduce a little bit of myself. I'm Benedetta Paris. I'm the head bartender in Happiness Forgets. And like
I
Dan
didn't stir it
introduced
long
before
enough. It's a little bit
himself,
sweet, but it's still
probably
yummy.
I can say that Alistair Birch is the owner and boss of Happiness Forgets. Probably is the man of the give occasion, because opportunity. Because like he gave it to you, I moved in London almost 5 years ago, and now it's almost 5 years I work in Happiness Forgets. So it was my only first job in London. And when I arrived in London, I didn't speak English at all. So of course, from my accent you can catch that I'm Italian. And my interview with Alistair Birch was almost 2 hours by Google Translate. Now it could be quite funny, but at that moment it was quite scared and stressed. Of course, I like to say that my career in the hospitality probably started like almost 5 years ago. But if I want to be honest, it started when I was 16, so it's now almost 19 years that I'm in the hospitality. And you catch I'm not really young lady. And I started this job probably for the same reason of Dan. So I was really shy, I was scared to speak with people, and I want to be really independent about money. And I said to my parents, okay, I start to work for this bar, this hotel bar, and I really start to enjoy this job. But at the same time, because of course I was really young, I was studying university science investigation. There is like forensic crime, police, but then I studied fashion. But at the same time I was doing this job, and I completely fall in love. Unfortunately for my mom, that she really wanted for me a different career, but I have to say that now she is more than happy, because she see how I love this job, all the passion that I put in this job,
Thank you,
and all the beautiful things that I can get from this job.
Some might say happiness forgets.
Happiness forgets, yeah. So
Moving on, sorry.
oh, don't worry. Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. Okay, don't worry. It's the name of the guy that is serving dry
He's here
penicillin,
to help.
non-alcoholic penicillin. Thank you anyway. I think at Happiness we are really well known for making a really delicious classic cocktail. Of course, we have our drink list, but one of our most popular cocktail is the regular penicillin. I think one of the key to introduce people to the non-alcoholic world is probably first, yes, to have a drink list where in your drink list there are your menu there are non-alcoholic drink, not just in a small part at the end of the menu, but should be really in the close to other drink. And probably for my experience, the best way is to make a twist or non-alcoholic classic cocktail. So in this case, you can enjoy dry penicillin. It's non-alcoholic penicillin. Penicillin is really smoky drink, gingery, honey, and I think the Everleaf forest is married perfect. The smokiness that we put with the lapsang tea is Chinese tea, and we blend Everleaf forest lapsang tea. Then we smoked with smoking gun with oak. Wood chips, and then we add lemon, a little bit of honey, of course for vegan people, I'm vegan, we can add agave, and ginger, we use fresh ginger, so you taste a really gingery cocktail. One of the things that I think is important to have a non-alcoholic drink in the menu is, like we say today, is to be inclusive. So I'm vegan. A lot of times when I go to the restaurant, I see the menu and there is no option. I feel really uncomfortable to ask to people, oh, do you have something vegan? Because I think that it's like if I broken the atmosphere with my friend, if I disturb the person that is working, they have to explain me what they have to go to the kitchen to ask. And if I have in the menu something that is vegan, for me makes it, okay. It's fine, no pressure. I can get my time, all time that I want it. I can decide what I want to eat. And the same, I think, is happening with the drink. Another point is it's beautiful to see how these two worlds of people that were drinking alcohol before and people that don't want to drink or they can't drink is their reason. They can really marry each other and they can have incredible vibes and energy during the night, something that before was really hard because I remember 10 years ago, when people came at the bar, I was in Italy, they asked me, oh, may I have a non-alcoholic drink? Oh, yes, grenadine, soda, that's it. So that's just pure sugar, it's undrinkable. So I want to say thank you, of course, to Everleaf, because you make 3 different spirits that is really great base for us to create a complex and different cocktail. We can start to shake this drink. Of course, I've already batched. So, like I said before, there is honey, ginger, lemon, Everleaf forest, and a lapsang thing. And is in this case, because it's batch, is perfect 100 ml.
And you say you smoke it as well.
Yeah,
What are you smoking it with?
Yeah, the smokiness is coming from lapsang and the smoky gun that we use we smoke it with smoky gun. That I said before is oak wood chips. And of course, shake. I want to say something. I'm really fan of penicillin. Really, really, really fan. But I think that this non-alcoholic, personally, is better than alcoholic.
Oh,
and,
hot tip.
yes. And there is my colleague, a close friend there, Kyra. And we still love to drink this cocktail. Woo! And sometimes after the shift we drink. Thank you. We we drink non-alcoholic. Okay, I can use these. I don't know. Did you try, guys? Did you enjoy?
Delicious.
Oh, thank you. This makes me, my boss, and my colleague happy.
If any of you have not been to Happiness Forgets, definitely go. It's
Happiness
so fun,
is
so good.
Yeah, it's 13 years that is open. It's a really independent bar, speakeasy, American style. It's underground, quite hard to find it. When I had my interview, was hard to find that place, but I did. Anyway, yeah.
You told me the other day when we were in Cornwall, you could never leave and you wanted to buy Happiness Forgets. Is that right?
I say that. When people ask me, what do you want to do it? Of course, it's always hard to reply to this question. I want to do a lot of things, but if I think something that I really want, it is I would love to buy that bar. I asked to my boss. He quite laughed on my face. And he say, that's my baby. Before he catch, you want to open this in Italy? I say, no, I want to buy that. But yeah, probably one day, who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
Fabulous. Well, thank you so
Cheers,
much,
guys.
Benedetta.
Thank you.
Thank you for the delicious drink,
Thank
and go get yourself to happiness to drink an NA penicillin. All right, guys, I
Cheers.
got just a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you so much for your patience. I just want to conclude
Yes, myself now.
and
Good job.
just open it up to the floor in a minute as well.
Nailed
But
Good job, you.
obviously,
Me
we
was
talk about
like,
drinking less and
I don't know what to
sobriety, sober curiosity. It comes with the wellness attachment, and I just want people to know that there's many resources out there. I spoke about the mindful drinking courses we run with Club Soda, which we do through the Drinks Trust, but also a variety of our friends who you can see up top there, Healthy Hospo, who are here today. If you're in hospitality, they've got a fun little chess club they're doing on Mondays, which is quite cool. Go speak to Matthias and Jason over there. So let's talk. If you're up north, those guys are fantastic, talking about how we can look after ourselves better in hospitality, physical well-being, mental well-being. Talk Club is a men's mental health group that I run once a month in our tasting rooms. It's basically free therapy. It's suicide prevention. It's a safe space for men to come and talk about their feelings. We talk about how you are out of 10. That's how we open. That's how we close. We're notoriously not very good about talking about our emotions, so it's a cause very close to my heart. And any further questions, feel free to come up to me at the end. There are more immediate resources we can use as well. But please, if you just take one thing away today, is that enjoy yourself an alcohol-free cocktail at some point, and just remember inclusivity is key. My name's Noah. Come visit our tasting rooms in Drury Lane. Any questions before we wrap up? No questions. All right, that's cool. Oh, one question. Yeah. Hello.
What question?
Hi.
Hi.
So I work in a nightclub, and we actually get a lot of requests for non-alcoholic drinks.
In a nightclub.
Yeah.
Times are a-changing. Wow.
Times
But
are
I
a-changing.
don't know how to get management on board with it.
You don't know how to get a hold of them?
no, how to get management on board with the idea.
Aha. Yeah, no, it's a fair question. What I would say immediately is, you say, do you like money? Because that's the obvious one, right? Like they don't have to enjoy the drink. They're missing out on so much money. It's we can talk about more of this after. I don't want to tell everybody the nightclub spiel, but how do you get them on board? Bring them to our tasting room, and I guarantee they will leave a fan of non-alc, because we've got so many good products that without a doubt they will find one that they'll be able to sell in the nightclub for sure. And there's a variety of mood-enhancing products now. That's like there's CBD, but then there's other things that can pep you up. There's things like 3 Spirit Livener, and that's what I used to do shots of tequila on shift. Now I do shots of 3 Spirit Livener. So there's definitely cool, fun things that can feel on brand, right? It's not just a can of beer. You can have lots of options. So yeah, we can win that argument for sure. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Have a lovely imbibe. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Cheers.